again and arose to stand in my defense. So I come to tell you He's alive, to tell you that He dries every tear that falls.
Habits. What kind of habits do you have? And specifically, I want to talk to you today about the habit of going to church. The habit of going to church. Hey, this is Clint Louie. Thank you for tuning in to 5 Minutes from Friendship. And I pray the Lord bless you today. The habit of going to church. Now, I want to stop right here and just right from the beginning say to you that, listen, going to church should be more than just a habit. I'm not asking anybody to get into some dry, dead routine that means nothing more than just, okay, hope to get up and go. I don't mean that. Of course not. But there is such a thing as having good habits, and there is such a thing as having bad habits. How many of us told our kids, don't bite your fingernails, you don't want to get into bad habits, and you tell them over and over about things, what not to do because of bad habits you don't want them to get started in. But then there's good habits too. Maybe you've got some good habits you're working on in your life. Maybe, you got trying to make a habit of drinking a lot of water or something like that. There's good habits, of course, and we should have those. But what about the habit of going to church? The habit of going to church. I mean, where we have the type of home and we have the type of life that says, listen, when it's church time, when the doors of my church are open, I'm going to be there. That's not a question. That's not a debate. That's just life. I'm going to be in my place. The Barna Group, the research group, they just came out and they said 1 out of 3 churchgoers, 1 out of 3 Christians have stopped going to church during COVID-19. Now, admittedly, I don't know if that takes into account people with underlying issues who are looking after their health and safety for particular reasons. But they said 1 out of 3 have stopped going to church. I was talking with a pastor of another church recently, and he was talking about the fact that he had a dear man who always was in church. Every time doors open, said faithful, faithful. I mean, he was there. You could count on that man to be there. And then he went to the hospital, had some surgery or sickness of some type, went to the hospital and was out for like 4 weeks. And then he said, preacher, he said, I can understand now how easy it is to get out of going to church. I can understand because I feel it in my own heart and life. It's so true, isn't it? We have to be so, what? We're flesh and blood. As spiritual as we want to be, we're human. And I want to encourage us today, let's set some good habits. The Bible says in Hebrews 10:25, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. The Bible says we're not to forsake the assembling of ourselves together. So may I encourage you, whenever your church meets, you should be there. Whether it's Sunday school, you should be there. Whether it's Sunday morning, Sunday night, if your church meets on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night or a Thursday night or whatever, you should be there. Your children should know that's your habit. The Bible says going to church is about exhorting one another. It's about encouraging and exhorting one. It's not about just me going to church, so I can say, okay, I went to church. No, it's about, there's a brother or sister there I can be a blessing to. It'll encourage your preacher if you're there in your place. I promise you, it'll discourage him. It can discourage him if the building's sitting empty or half empty or whatever. But you being there, that'll mean so much to your pastor. You being there can mean so much to another precious family that you may not know they're going through some hard times, but when you smiled and said hello and greeted them warmly, oh, it meant so much. And the Bible says this is something we ought to do so much the more as you see the day approaching. Listen, I think all of us should agree that yes, the signs of the times are there. Jesus is coming. He says, as you see things like this taking place, this is the time we need more church, not less church. So can I encourage you, don't get out of good habits. It's easy to do. You start missing Wednesday, then before long Sunday, then before long Sunday morning, and before long, bad habits have taken root. Can I encourage you, let's set the good habit of going to church. Hey, this is Clint Louie. I hope you have a great day today. God bless you.